In this unit, we've been solving equations, correct? So far, we've only been working with equations that can be solved in 1 or 2 steps. Not too bad. But there's actually going to end up being equations that have multiple steps to solve, and that's what we are looking at today. So I'm going to give you some very specific instructions on how to solve equations with multiple steps. Make sure you get all of this down. Step 1, you will use distributive property. Always first. So you are either going to use distributive property and then or combine like terms on each side if necessary. So first thing you are going to check is there any distributive property in there. If there is, you do it. Then you combine like terms on each side. There's going to be an equal sign on the equation. So there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, an equal sign, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay? You're going to distribute and combine like terms on this side, distribute and combine like terms on this side. You keep them separate for right now. Okay? Step 2, you are going to get all variables on the same side of the equation. So all variables go on the same side of the equation. So you are either going to put them all on the left or put them all on the right. It doesn't really matter which one, but I do give you a hint. Move the negative or the smaller one. It's just going to make life easier for you. Okay? So whichever one is negative or whichever one is smaller, move that one. Okay, so you have all of your variables on the same side. So then you're going to get all constants or regular numbers on the other side. So we do not want them on the same side. We want it on the opposite side. So all of your constants or numbers are on one side. All of your variables are on the opposite side of the equal sign. And then it's going to be a one-step equation. So you're going to solve as normal. Okay? Alright, let's look at example 1. Example 1 is not that difficult just to start out with. 4n minus 2n equals 18. Step 1, what does step 1 say? Use distributive or combine like terms if I have to. Do you see distributive property on the left or on the right? No. Do you see combine like terms? Yes. I do too. What do you see? 4n minus 2. Okay, so let's combine those like terms. What does that give me? 2n. So we have 2n equals 18. Okay, step 2 says to get all variables on the same side. So look at both sides. Are all variables on the same side? Yes. Yes, I have n's on the left and I have 18 on the right, on the other side. So all my constants, step 3, are on the other side, so that's taken care of. So I get to solve as normal. What am I going to do? Divide by 2. So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. So we are left with 1n equals 18 divided by 2? 9. I heard someone say 6. Okay. Not too bad, right? Okay, really this was only 2 steps, but we're getting used to the combining like terms and stuff. Okay? Example 2. Really quickly, there's a typo on example 2. It should not say equal to 30. It should say equal to 12. Okay, so step 1 says distributive property or combine like terms. Looking at the left, is there distributive property at all? No. Is there combine like terms? There is. What? 6a and 1a. What does that give me? 7a minus 9 equals 12. Okay, now this looks like a two-step equation. We want to look and see if all variables are on the same side. Are all variables on one side only? Variables.
Yes.
Letters. Yes. 7A, right? Are my constants or numbers on the other side yet? No, I still have this minus 9 on the left-hand side, so what am I going to do? Add 9. So those cancel, and I get 7A equals what? 21. And then I'm going to solve like normal, so what does that give me? Divide by 7. So A equals 3. So example 3. 3 times 2x minus 1 equals 17. What do I need to do first? Distribute. Good. So let's distribute that 3. That's going to give me 6x minus what? Minus 3 equals 17. Are all my variables on the same side? Yes. X's are all on the left. So I need to get all numbers on the right. So what am I going to do? Add 3. So the 3's cancel. 6x equals 20. Then what? Divide by 6. Okay, so x equals what? 20 over 6. That doesn't reduce to just one whole number, but does it reduce? Yeah, what does it reduce by? Reduces by 2. So what's 20 divided by 2? 10. And 6 divided by 2? 3. Does that reduce any more? No. So is it okay that I leave my answer as a fraction? Yes. Remember, we learned that in the 1 steps or the 2 steps. It's okay to have a fraction as your answer. Okay, don't freak out about it. Okay, so example 4 has a fraction in it. 1/3 times 12x plus 9 equals 27. What will I do here? What? You're still going to distribute. So we're going to distribute 1/3. Now guys, multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by what? By what? No, dividing by 3, just the bottom number. So what is 1/3 times 12x? What's 12x divided by 3? Divided by 3? 4. 4x. Why? Look at this. 12x times 1/3. This is the same as 12x over what? 1. What's 12 times 1? 12x, right? Over, what's 1 times 3? 3. How does that reduce? What's 12 divided by 3? 4x. Okay, it's the same as dividing. So what's 1/3 times 9? 3. Good. Plus 3 equals 27. Now this looks like something we can do. What do I do next? Subtract 3. So 4x equals what? 24. Then what? Divide by 4. You guys are so good at these now. So x equals 6. Okay, don't be afraid of the fractions. If you have to do this scratch work on the side, do the scratch work on the side. But don't be lazy and just give up because you see a fraction. Okay? You guys can do it. I know you can. So show me that you can. Okay? So how's example 4? Still okay? Okay, let's make it a little more difficult. Example 5. Okay, example 5. What do your steps say to do first? Distributive property. Do you see distributive property anywhere? I do. Which one? 6. Positive or negative 6?
Positive.
Positive 6. So distribute that positive 6 into the parentheses. So what's that going to give me on the left? Have I used the 2 at all yet? No. So this is 2. Plus what? 6x minus 18. Have I used that plus 5x yet? No. So plus 5x equals negative, and that's a typo too. It should be negative 60. Okay, so it should be negative 60. You guys will thank me in just a second. Okay. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, guys. So we did distributive property. What else does step 1 say to do? Combine like terms. So looking on the left-hand side, do you see any combined like terms there? 6x and positive 5x. What else? 2 and negative 18. Good. Remember that negative is attached to it. So let's add the boxes first. What's 6x plus 5x? 11x. What about 2 minus 18? Negative 16 equals negative 60. Are all of my x's on one side? Yes. Are all of my numbers on one side? No. What do I have to do? Add 16. So that gives me 11x equals, what's negative 60 plus 16? Negative 44. See, it would not have worked out this nice if it was negative 56. Okay, negative 44, and then what? Divide by 11. So that gives me x equals what? Negative 4. Excellent. Example 6. What will I do first? Distributive. I have a positive 5 and a what? And a negative 3. Remember on quiz 1 when a whole bunch of you guys forgot to include that negative? So what's that going to give me? 5 times x. 5x plus 5 minus, not minus negative 6. Negative 3 times positive 2x just gives me negative 6. So it's just minus 6 because that negative is attached to the 6. And negative 3 times positive 2, what does that give me? Positive or negative? Negative 3 times positive 2 gives me negative 6 equals 0. Now what? Combine like terms. What do you see? I see 5x and negative 6x, and what else? Positive 5 and negative 6. So let's combine like terms. What's 5x minus 6x? Negative 1x, or negative x. And 5 minus 6 again? Negative 1 equals 0. Okay, what am I going to do? Add 1. So I have negative x equals positive 1. Did I solve for x yet?
Yes.
No. I don't have x by itself yet. What's in front of x that I can't see?
1.
An invisible negative 1. So what am I going to do to get rid of that negative 1? Divide by negative 1. You need x all by itself. So those negative 1's cancel. So I get x equals what? What's 1 divided by negative 1?
0,
1.
-1.
Negative 1. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. So what would 1 divided by 1 be? 1. And what is a positive divided by negative? A negative. So it's negative 1. Okay? How do you guys feel about that one? Eh? Last one. Example 2, the most difficult one we're going to do today. There's so many parentheses. What's the first step I have to do? Distributive. Now, I see 2 distributives. Does anybody else?
I see the black.
Okay. What do we have to do first, though, Matthew? The whole thing or just the bracket? Just the bracket. So what am I going to distribute here? A negative 1. There's a 1 there. So draw on that 1, circle it, and let's distribute. So 2 on the outside of the brackets, come straight down. We haven't used it. Bracket. Have I used 3 yet? No. So 3. Negative 1 times x. Negative x. Negative 1 times positive 1. Negative 1. Plus 4x. We haven't used that yet either. Finish the bracket. Equals negative 12. Okay. Can I distribute the 2 yet? I could if I really wanted to. It's going to be a lot easier if I combine like terms first. So in those brackets, where can I combine like terms? Negative x and positive 4x and 3 and negative 1. So this is going to give me 2 times. What's negative x plus 4x? 3x. And 3 minus 1? Positive 2. Equals negative 12. Okay, now can I distribute the 2? Yeah, so let's distribute the 2. So what's that going to give me? 6x plus 4 equals negative, shoot, it was supposed to be 14. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Negative 14. I forgot to change it. Negative 14. You will like me better because of it. It's going to work out better. Okay, equals negative 14. Okay, now what? Subtract 4. So that's going to give me 6x equals negative 18. You're welcome. And then what? Divide by 6. So x equals negative 3. Okay, so multi-step equations. I'm going to go over the steps one more time for you. First thing you are going to do, distributive, and then combine like terms. Always first, on each side. Step 2, you want to get all the variables on the same side. So you are going to get all x's on one side, and then you are going to get the constants or the numbers on the other side. Okay, and I promise you in this unit, x's will always be on the same side in these problems. Okay? And then we will be able to solve like normal because it'll be a one-step equation. Okay? So